Hello everyone, this is CY once again. Thanks for joining me. It's around 10:40 p.m. and it's Valentine's today. So I would like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. And I'm going to do something really interesting today, and it's to compare the tasting profile between a pump machine, which is this one, the Gemilai 3007L, and the um, from Odyssey Espresso, the Argos, which is a fully manual lever machines. So it's actually a pump versus manual lever espresso machines. So let's see how the taste will be different. And today, of course, it's already very late at night, so I'm going to just use my decaf to do a test and see whether we can actually taste the difference between the two. See which one is uh, better in my own opinion. So thanks for joining, and let's get to it. And before we get started, remember to hit the subscribe button if you have not done so, because it will help our channel to grow better and allow me to do more things. So remember to hit the subscribe button and like our videos and share to your friends if you can. Right. So let's get started. Right. So let's first power on both machines by flicking a simple switch at the back. You can see the sound from the Gemilai is actually pretty quiet when it's trying to warm up. Later you can hear the pump. Of course, the manual espresso machine would super quiet. Basically, you can hear only the boilers boiling water, right? Of course, for the Gemilai, you will try to activate the pump to sort of draw some water, and then it will start to increase the temperature of the boiler and the thermal block, right? So you can see the temperature is actually rising very quickly. And at the same time, I can also hear the boiler heating up in the Argos. So I'm not going to do any cut the video. So this is just going to be a one cut. And if I can, I'll bring my camera closer to each of the espresso machines when I do the extractions, and then let you see the entire work process. And the grinder I'm going to use actually this grinder over here, which is the DF64 Gen 1. But this is the version 4, which still comes with the dual declamper from the stock from the factory. I did not do any modification to it. I'm not really happy, but as time goes, the declamper gets softened and it bends in shape, so it gets a little bit better. But I still have to bellow harder every time to make sure all the coffees are out. And what is installed this machine, right? This grinder is actually the 64 lead sweep cast burr. So that is the burr which is my favorite burr. It produces a lot sweeter and more balanced of espresso, focusing on the balance of the taste and not just highlighting the brightness like the MP burrs. So personally, I like this because it really brings out the sweetness, and there will be more balance in espresso rather than the singularity of just the brightness. So I do not have any temperature indicator on the Argos. The Argos is actually currently set to 92 degrees Celsius. So I will have to wait for the brew pressure, sorry, the boiler pressure to go up to between, I think it should reach around 1 bar plus, right? And I will know that the temperature is ready. Another way to tell whether the boiler is ready is that the boiler no longer boils water. So that also tells me that the temperature is ready. So while waiting, let me lock up the portafilter, right? The group does not get hot water unless you flush it. So usually I'll do a flush when I use the Argos, right? And one thing about the Gemilai, okay, this portafilter is actually the stock portafilter, but you know what? This portafilter can be, the handle can be screwed out, and some of the wooden handle which I purchased last time actually fits really well. So this is the one that comes stock, you know. Yeah, it screws in nicely, but you can see the quality is not the best. You can see the holding pops out. It's basically just like that. So of course you don't expect they invest in a lot of money in giving you very good quality for the portafilter, but this thing doesn't cost a lot of money, and the wood, you know, just make the entire feeling of the machine feels a lot better, right? So I just have to screw on, and voila, right? You got a very nice portafilter that's in wood, right? So I'm gonna lock it up. You can see the Gemilai has already reached 92 degrees Celsius, right? And my portafilter will still probably not be hot. So what I'm going to do is, actually to flush water on both, right? So let me flush the Gemilai first. Alright, you can see the moment I start to press the button, the short timer actually started, and you'll see that the temperature will dip slightly. You can see it from 92, it actually goes down to 83 degrees Celsius. So it needs a little bit more time for the temperature to get really stabilized. I think a good wait of 10 minutes will be good. So you can just switch on the machine, go to brush your teeth in the morning, and the machine should be ready in, I think the heat should be more stable at around 10 minutes time. But you can see the temperature actually goes back to 92 pretty fast. And of course, the advantage of this is immediately after you pull a shot, you can actually switch on your steam one. Right, let me just show you very quickly. Let me see whether you can see that from the camera angle. Oh, the handle is actually blocking it. So let me try. So you can hear the pump. So that is actually the vibratory pump working at the back, and they are back flush. They are actually it's actually purging all the excess water through the drip tray. So that's actually a good thing. So right now, I think the Argos is ready. I'm just going to lift up the handle, the handle of the Argos, and try to heat up my portafilter. Right, just about 39 grams of water. So let me pour the water away. I'm going to use this beer glass as my my shot glass, right? Because I didn't bring my shot glass, but this is actually from Tiger Beer. Yeah, I don't know whether it can hold the temperature, but should be fine because I'm not going to extract a lot of liquid. Okay, so let's now proceed to grind the coffee. And of course, we're going to use the decaf today. For the Argos, I can actually push all the way to 20 gram, but for today, I'm just going to be fair on both and going to do 18 gram on both. I'll use the same grind setting for both machines. Wow, this decaf beans, the moment I open the bag, it smells really good. Usually, I like to do uncut videos so that people will know exactly I didn't skip any part. And this is my genuine comment and feedback. Let's do 18 grams. For the SSB Lab Sweet, it tends to give you a little bit more fine coffee powder, and that's why it gives you the body, right, and the texture, give you a better body shots. So this is 18.1 gram. So the grinder is going to be louder than the 2 espresso machine, that's for sure. Right, so I'm going to just dose the beans. I do not have an extra dosing cup, so I'm just going to dose all in one. I can't do really slow feed in this machine until I get a separate dosing cup. Turn it on. And my brother Thomas is a genius in design. He actually designed this with a hole so that you can drop the beans and your palms is enough to cover the hole so that you can actually create pressure. So you don't need to take out, your cover, walnut cover, put it back. It's very troublesome for me. So let's weigh the coffee. Right, it's 18.3 grams, so I think it's pretty okay. probably there's about 0.2 grams of 0.2 to 0.3 grams of retention from the previous shot. Yeah, but I'll call it good. Right, so I think let's pull the shot from the Argos first. Right. Right, so for the puck preparations, I'm going to show you how I usually do it. Right, so I'm going to bring my camera closer. My counter is a little bit cluttered, but I will try to give you a best view. So let me just shift my camera here and pull up so that give you a better angle looking down. So it's very messy on my table, as you can see. Alright, so let's move this cup away, put it underneath the Argos so they can measure the output. Alright, so take out the portafilter from the Argos. Okay, it's warm now. It's not very hot, but at least it's better than cold. Transfer it over, and you can see that I have this prep stand whereby I can actually put my portafilter on. Usually, I would like to knock it, right? Because I do not have a WDT set up here. Right? Usually, if I dose direct into the dosing cup, I will do a little bit of WDT before I temp it down. But for this, I'm just going to use my hand to tap it so that it will distribute to the side. Then I'm going to use a distributor to just distribute the coffee. Right, and I'm just going to temp it. And for temping, to be fair, I'm going to use the constant flash temper from MHW3 Bomber. This thing gives you a constant 30 pounds of pressure every time. You just have to hear the click, right? So I'm just showing you the click sound. Right, that's where the spring is released and hit the puck to give you the constant 30 pounds of force. Right, so you can see it's very beautiful. And usually I like the puck screen on. Right, so this puck screen is from the Odyssey Espresso. So let me lock up the portafilter, and then I'm going to show you my entire extraction process. So with this, I'm going to bring my camera back again, right, because I have very limited counter space. All right, so let's lock up the portafilter. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to taste the espresso first. Then after that, I will show you the steaming from both machines. And I'll probably be just doing a small, like a cortado thing, right? But I may not be able to finish all the drinks, but let's see how it goes. So first, put the cup below. Start my weighing scale. Make sure everything is all right. Okay, so I use about 18 grams, so I'm going to aim about 36 grams of liquid coming out. So to do this on the Argos, first I have to lift this up. Right, so I will hear the slow inflow of the water as I lift up. Yep, you can hear the water rushing into the group. And usually I'll hold there. Right, let the water fill completely first. And it will start to exert force to push my lever up actually. So actually, if I release my lever is going to spring up because the it's flushing the hot water in. And usually I will allow a few drips of coffee to come out first. Yeah, you will start to see coffee coming out. Then I will flush the chamber with water, right? And then I'm going to start to pull. Easily, I can achieve 9 bars of pressure. And usually, I like to taper the pressure down to 6 bar, then back to. So you can see I'm actually extracting 47 grams of liquid. So that's actually I over extracted. So you can actually control the pre-infusion time to drag the pre-infusion time slightly longer so that you can yield a little bit more. But that depends on how long you actually allow this to happen, right? So let's hold it there, and then let's move on to the Gemilai 3007L, and then we pull a shot there as well. So next, I'm going to prepare another 18 grams of coffee, right? And I'm not going to use a bottomless for this. So let's take it out. Right, this is really hot. It's a lot hotter than the Argos. So again, 18 grams of coffee. Okay, let's remove this. Right, so let's measure another 18 grams. Our decaf is roasted to a very nice color. You can see that the roast date on this pack is on the 18th of January, and this is the quality of the roast that we have. There's a little bit of sheen on the beans, but there's no oil seeping out. So this is the roast that we have for the, the sugar. I think it's a sugarcane process decaf from Colombia, from the Papayan Reserve. It's very good beans. I love the sweetness coming out from the this Colombian decaf. So again, drop it in. I dose about 18.2 grams here. Both machines are set to 90 degrees Celsius. Oops. Okay, let's weigh the output. It's 18 grams, so again, it takes about 0.2 grams of coffee inside. And I can't really bellow any harder, right? So the flap, the dual flap that's stock from the factory is actually not doing a very good job. I would prefer my own modification, which I'll probably mod it to get it more free flowing. So let's transfer this over. Again, my little prep station here. Everything will be the same actually. Knock it gently. Right, I'm going to use my hand to slowly distribute it around. Tap it. Right, and I'm going to use the distributor. Okay, let me see. I'm actually getting this in video. Okay, it's blocking, so I'm going to raise up my camera to give you a better view. Right, so distribution. Right, very nice, very clean. Flash temper. Right, the key of it is not to rush it. Right, is to take your time. Right, let's put the scale underneath. I hope my cup can actually go underneath with enough space. No, just a bit tight here. Okay, it's possible. Okay, so let's measure. I'm going to do an automatic one, which I already preset 6 seconds pre-infusion, and then it will extract for 24 seconds, and then see how much coffee is actually coming out from there. Okay, I stopped it earlier, right? Now I'm actually hitting about 43 grams after about 20 seconds. So I think probably I have to adjust the grind setting to be slightly finer for both machines, because I'm yielding more than what I usually get. Right, as the bean ages and oxidizes, the grind size has to get finer, right, to actually compensate for the loss of carbon dioxide gas, right? The longer the beans you have, the more it degas, the less it impedes the flow, hence you'll flow faster for your espresso, right? So this is nothing's, um, that's actually pretty much about science, right? So nothing special about it, right? Just about science, right? So you can see on both shots, of course, the first one, right, is from the Argos, right? You can see the crema has really started to turn color, but it's normal when the crema exposed to the air, it will start to become slightly richer and more brown in color, right? So let's give it a taste, right? Okay, this one is from the Argos. As I shake it, the color goes back a little bit. Smells very identical, right? I can't really smell much difference between these two, but let's give it a taste. It's very nutty. It has a chocolate undertone, very chocolatey flavor. No acidity. Very pleasant. Oh, there's a little bit of acidity as it cools, but it's a pleasant of acidity. I think probably the temperature is I don't know. Maybe it's the extraction temperature, right? So let's test on the Gemilai 3007L. Of course, this will be warmer because I left the espresso there for a while. But let's just give it a test. Oh, the two espresso is very different. Oh, this is sweeter. Right, the Argos pull a much sweeter shots than the Gemilai 3007. This shot is more, I would say, more linear in taste. Right, it has sweetness. Uh, it has a chocolate undertone, but I would say that the taste is more flat. This one has, the ups and down. I can taste the sweetness pop up, and then the chocolate undertone at the back. So I can taste the taste separation here. But this one is like I'm tasting everything together, right? Not saying that this is bad or this is better. They just taste very differently. But personally, I prefer the shot from the Argos as compared to the Gemini 3007L. Maybe it's because my preference is always towards the manual level espresso machine, whereby I can actually adjust the pressure as I brew. Hence, therefore, you can see I love my machine that's able to do pressure profiling, not flow profiling. It's pressure profiling. That's the machine that I'll go to. Flow profiling is basically restricting the water flow to give you a slower extractions. And because sometimes your grind size may not be right, so you use your flow profiler to actually save the shots most of the time, right? That's in my opinion. So I think espresso tastes great on both, but I like the Argos better. So now let's move on to steaming milk, right? On both machines. So for the Argos, I have to turn on the steam button, which brings the machine up to the steaming temperature. So it will take a short while for the temperature to go up. Whereas on the Gemilai 3007L, there's no need to wait. I can turn on the steam and it goes up straight away. Right, so let me get some milk and then we try to steam the milk. So I will first, of course, be steaming the milk on the Gemilai 3007L. Then I'll proceed to steam on the Argos, right? Actually, the broiler pressure on Argos is going up very rapidly. Now I can see that it's actually hitting about uh, closing, I think it's already hitting about 3 bars of pressure. So the pressure is actually pretty high. So, okay, let's remove all these things away. And I will try to bring my camera here so to give you a better close up video of how I actually steam the milk on the Gemini 3007. So I'm going to move my camera a little bit so it may shake, but just please bear with me. All right, let's put it here. Let's see whether we can get the camera to point down, right? And it doesn't topple. Right, it's my first time trying to use a smaller tripod to do the recording, so it's shaking a little bit. But okay, let's try. Right. So first, of course, we'll purge the condensation of water. I would say the steam is pretty dry. Right, it's not wet. Like you can see, I can put my hand there, and then my hand is just a little wet on the palm. So I would say pretty good steam from the Gemilai 3007L, right? So I think let's go for this position. Oops. Okay, let's. Usually it takes about 22 to 23 seconds to heat the milk to the temperature that I want. Yep, correct, it's 23 seconds. And you can see how velvety the milk is. Okay, probably can't see in the camera, but let me just show you, right? You can see it's very, very silky, very wet paint-like. Okay, I'm not too sure whether I can do latte art on this cup, but I can give it a try. So you can see this is quite velvety. So this is the one from extracted from the Gemilai 3007L. You can see how well the texturing of the milk is. Right, it's definitely can do good latte art even on a cup that's like that, right? So this is on the Gemilai. It's definitely possible. Right, let me change out, pour this milk into another cup so I can drink it later. Right, now let's switch over to the Argos. So I'm just going to turn the camera to the other side. As my space is very tight here, I have to do it very slowly so that to give you a better view. Right, the steam tip is here. So let me turn the camera slightly over. Right. Okay, so again, let's remove this. Let's purge the steam. Very powerful. Oh, you can see. Similarly, my hand is not wet. It's only slightly wet, right? Even after I blow the steam at my hand for quite a while, right? So the steam on the Argos, I'm very happy with it. The steam power is also it's really good. So that's me. But on the Gemilai, it has a 3-tip steam hole, so I think it's slightly weaker in terms of steaming power, whereas there's only 2 tip on the Argos, so it makes it slightly more powerful, right? So a little bit harder to steam on the Argos as compared to the Gemilai, but let me give it a try, right? So let me see whether I'm actually getting the right angle. Okay, so let's give it a try. Okay, also very velvety. I always hit the jig tray. Right, I'll show you in a second how velvety the milk is. It's very powerful steam, right? So don't forget, I always switch off immediately after I use so that the pressure can go down. All right, it's great milk too, right? So I think this is one of the lever espresso machine which really can texture the milk really well. And this is a lot better than the La Pavonis which I have used. Straight out of the box, I'm already able to texture the milk. I think it all has to do with the steam wand and steam tip design. Right, so let's try. Oh, both are great. Right, so you can see both produce good milk quality for frothing and as well as for latte art, right? Right, so let me bring the camera back to the position whereby I can shoot myself. Right, so let me just bring you closer to see the two cups there. Pretty nice. Right, this is from the Gemilai. This is from the Argos, right? So let's give you a taste. Right, so I'm quite sure it will be tasting quite good because I can see the texture of milk is very, very good on both, right? So let's first try on the Gemilai. Very good. It's so smooth. Mm, really enjoying myself here. Right, so nowadays at night time, if I have to drink coffee, I will do a decaf, right? This is still sweeter. I still like the Argos in terms of, I mean, the steaming is good. It just gives me better tasting coffee in my own opinion, right? It's smoother, right? Less impactful, more subtle, right? It bring out the sweetness better in my own opinion. Hmm. Yep. So this is CY once again. Thanks for watching my videos. I hope you like the weird comparison between very different machines. One is, I think it's very, very popular recently because of its price point and the specs. So in terms of price versus spec, it actually beats a lot of a machine in its and the category that's above it, right? For example, like I will not compare this to, probably not an ideal comparison between this to the Lily Elizabeth because that's a dual boiler, but it has a very similar capabilities, right? It is able to adjust the brew temp. I think the Lily Elizabeth can adjust even the steam temperature, right? But is that something you need? And whether the price point justify all the function, all the extra function it has, right? That really depends on what you think about it, right? So thank you for joining and happy Valentine's Day. I will see you very soon in the next video. Probably not tomorrow because tomorrow is my off day, Thursday. So I'll probably do a live again on Friday morning. Then I'll see what I'm going to do, right? So if you have any ideas or any things want me to do within my own capabilities, because I have to purchase all this equipment myself. I'm not sponsored by any of these machine, right? I fully purchase all this equipment myself. So when I do review, I definitely will give you the honest review and my own opinion on my user feedback on all these machines. So thanks for joining. I'll see you very soon. Stay safe.